What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Face Off Sports Network. I'm Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at the FF Face Off and at fffaceoff.com. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. Back with me, Football Thursday Night Football, just a few hours away. Fantasy Savvy at Steve D'Angelo. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm back. Last show I was on was right before the hurricane. We're, glad to report that everything's okay. Everything is cleared out. The weather is nice. I think we're done with the hurricanes. I just took down my shutters. All my shutters are out. So, we got the Yankees going on right now. Baseball playoffs. I know a lot of people are in tune with that, but also some Thursday night football. Saints versus Broncos. Bo Nix versus the Rattler tonight. So, let's get into it. Week 7. We are getting closer and closer. We are, more than a third way done, and fantasy playoffs are right around the corner.
Isn't it crazy that we're at this point already?
Yeah, it's every year we say the same shit, but it always flies by. And NFL just seems to fly by. It's crazy. And that's great because it's just on Sundays you get the one day to watch it all. It's not like the other sports where you got to focus every single day, so you get to gear up all week just for that one big day for the most part. Let's go.
What do you think? While we wait for questions, what do you think of this game tonight? We were talking off air. This is really hard to digest for me. We don't really know a lot of these guys, especially on the Saints. It's like their entire and they started off the season great. Derek Carr looked like a new guy. Rashid Shaheed looked like the breakout receiver of the century. Yeah. Chris Olave, kind of a rough start, but this team had some studs popping off, and now Rashid Shaheed's on IR. Derek Carr, who knows when he's coming back. Olave's been a disappointment. There's a lot of distress in this game tonight.
Yeah, and no Taysom Hill either. He's still out. This is probably going to be a low-scoring game. The total's 37. It's Spencer Rattler versus Bo Nix. Saints defense at home. They'll be juiced up against Nix. What has he really got? Not much. The receivers aren't great. The offense isn't great.
Bo Nix, though.
Yeah,
he's been good. All right.
He's been good for fantasy. He's been playing within the system. Yeah, he's been playing okay. He's been doing a decent job. Still, I think it's not an easy matchup here against the Saints defense. I think the Saints defense will be juiced up. And on the other side, Rattlers has a tough matchup too. I think he looked pretty good last week. I think he looked pretty poised. He did a pretty good job for the most part. A couple bad throws here and there, but made some plays with his feet, made some plays on the run. But yeah, losing Shaheed now for the year is devastating. Obviously, this has been a Shaheed show, losing him in a ton of best ball leagues. Obviously redraft as well. Olave is out with the concussion. Like I said, no Taysom Hill. So, what do you get? Jawan Johnson, Mason Tipton, freaking Bub Means. It's just where do you rank these guys this week? You don't really know what the hell's going to happen. Does Kendre Miller get some usage this week? We all know Dennis Allen hates his freaking guts. So, I don't know. Maybe Audric Estime a little bit tonight. That will be interesting. Hopefully you snatched him up and you stashed him. There's a chance he could take over this job as well. So that will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, excited for tonight's game. It's crazy to say I'm excited for it, but I kind of am because there is a lot of question marks. Steve, let's get into it. It looks like we have one question right now.
Yeah, Alicia Collard says, she's in the room. She's been with us for, I think a month or two now. So welcome back, Alicia. Jared Fortin, our boy. Al also says hello, but Jared's got a question. Says, hey, guys, glad you're all good and safe, Steve. Thank you, man. Need a tight end PPR. Schultz, Hunter, Henry, or Zach Ertz. Also thoughts, Sermon or Goodson. So we'll start with the tight ends first. Schultz, Hunter, Henry, or Ertz. Obviously, with Drake May now in the mix, gives a little bit life to the offense. We've seen Demario Douglas go off. We've seen Hunter Henry get back into the end zone after what was that, week 1 or week 2? He went off, then really didn't do anything. But last week gets to the end zone. Schultz now without Nico in a high-scoring game. I think it's very close between him and Hunter Henry for me. But I kind of like Schultz in a shootout game with no Nico Collins here against the Packers, and a 47.5 total is going to be a lot of throwing. This game could definitely go over. Now, there might be a little bit of weather in this game. That's something to pay attention to. I see some rain showers. Maybe that affects the passing game. But I prefer Schultz just a little bit here over those other guys. What do you think?
I can make a case for all of them for one situation. Even Zach Ertz, right? You said he was in the mix as well. Ertz coming up one of his better games of the year. He's really efficient. And this week he gets Baltimore. That is
No, the Panthers.
okay. Another easy matchup.
Last week
Yeah,
they played
last week
Baltimore.
was Baltimore,
Yeah.
but the Panthers another easy matchup.
51.5 total in that one too. So yeah, that's a good one too.
Schultz, since Nico Collins has been out, and remember he was knocked out early in week 5. He's had 8 and 6 targets. He just has not cashed in.
Yeah, most targets of the year last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and then we got Hunter Henry, but I like a lot of I like Pop Douglas a lot, and I don't think both they both got going last week. I don't know if both are going to get going again, and since I'm high on Douglas, I don't know how much is going to be left over for Henry because Jacksonville you could also run on this team. So I might just play it safe and go Dalton Schultz against Green Bay. They're the second easiest tight end matchup on paper.
Yeah, I mean, they're all good matchups. I mean, the freaking Jaguars defense stinks. The Panthers defense stinks. You got a good matchup with the Packers, letting up points to tight ends. But yeah, I kind of like Schultz. I kind of feel like he's due a little bit here. I mean, Henry could be nice, and also Ertz could be nice too. But let's go with Schultz. And then he's also got a question on the 2 backup running backs for the Colts. I know Trey Sermon. What was his yards per carry? Like 1.5 last week. He's got a little bit of a knee injury or some kind of injury. So I think he was seen at practice today, but there's a chance he could be ruled out. So I think right now I would have to say Goodson. I don't know. I really haven't seen. I've seen Goodson catch some passes here or there. I didn't see Sermon really run last week, but the yards per carry, that's pretty brutal. So I think I would lean Goodson here.
Yeah, and we have to assume right now, Jonathan Taylor, he hasn't practiced. He can still log a practice and play this week. He's not completely ruled out.
Yeah.
But out of these guys, I'd probably go Goodson just for the fact that he ran more efficiently last week, and Sermon is dealing with the injury. Both of these running backs have been used when it comes to snaps in the past 2 weeks, 40 and 29, 39 and 26. They're both getting touches, but I'll lean the more efficient back. And Goodson, 5 targets last week, 3 the week before. So we've seen 8 targets in the past 2 as well, which raises PPR floor.
Yeah, just a reminder, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share to the show, hit the notification button. If you guys want to bump the line, we get a lot of questions. You can send in those super chats. We certainly appreciate that. All right, we got Will, Debo, Davante Adams with the Jets now. Mike E. Evans, who didn't practice today, or he tweaked something in practice today, supposedly. Jaden Reed, pick 2.
So
Debo gets the Niners. Go ahead.
Yeah, Debo gets the Chiefs.
Oh, Chiefs.
Davante Adams gets the Steelers. Evans, they get the Ravens in a projected shootout. Jaden Reed, we just talked about who Green Bay gets Washington, right? Yeah. In a projected shootout. So all 4 of these games, outside of Green
Bay's got the Texans.
Yeah, they get the Texans. Man, I'm off today. Evans gets the Ravens. So we have 2 potentially high-scoring games with those 2. Adams gets Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's going to be high-scoring, but I think the Jets start Rodgers is playing better. I think they're going to use Adams and Debo. What worries me about this 49ers-Chiefs game is that the Chiefs defense, they've been lights out this year. I think this is a better defense than what we've seen in the Super Bowl. But I'm going to go Davante, and I'm going to go I might go Davante and Evans. I don't know. I wish you could do all 3. All 4.
Yeah, certainly. If Evans plays against the Ravens, this seems like a game where he could kind of go off. 49.5 total. Again, you're going to have to see what happens, with the practice reports Friday, going into Saturday, as well as they're playing Monday night. Debo, yeah, Chiefs, but still a high total, 46.5. Chiefs are due for a loss. I mean, they've been playing so many close games. This just seems like a Niners victory to me. So I don't mind using Debo there either. The other options, Jaden Reed, with Watson now, Dobbs, looks like Wicks is coming back as well. Dobbs is still kind of getting, Reed's still kind of getting third in snaps. But again, another shootout. This is certainly a matchup he can exploit. I mean, you got some great options here. But I think I'll go with Man, I think I'll go with Debo and Mike Evans if he's going to play. Let's give Davante at least 1 week.
Nope.
You know,
I'm going in on Davante Adams. He
all right.
knows the system.
No, he
He
does.
knows the quarterback. They have to make
But
noise.
he also will get Joey Porter Jr. probably the most. I mean, yeah, he's got Garrett Wilson too. I mean, this is going to be 38.5 total. This is Sunday Night Football. This is going to be so interesting to watch how the Jets utilize both these guys, both dangerous weapons. I mean, it's going to be hard to defend. So I don't mind using Davante either. I mean, all good options. I think the one guy I would leave out is Reed, though.
Yeah, 3 career games, Debo against the Chiefs. His best game, 5 for 42, and he's never scored a touchdown.
All right. So you want to go Evans and Davante there?
I'm going. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind that either. Like I said, if I'd pick 3 of those 4, just maybe I would leave Reed out and then decide between those.
Isn't it crazy that we're leaving Jaden Reed out? Like he's like the worst one out of his group, and he's having an unreal year.
Yeah, I just think it's more concentrated with the other guys, right? A little bit more concentrated anyway. I mean, the Packers just never know who the hell's going to go off. Could be Dobbs, could be Wicks, could be Watson. Could be Reed, could be Tucker Kraft. I mean, Love is just slinging it around. I mean, they could all eat too. Just that array of that plethora of different receivers. Zach Litton says, "Hey guys," Will says it's PPR. We got you covered. Kareem Hunt or Chase Brown PPR also from Will.
Oh, okay. We're actually, this is why we're a little bit slow. We're in the wrong room. We're in the NFL picks room. So I'm gonna redo the SEO on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go check. I don't like Kareem Hunt in this matchup at all against San Francisco. He's getting touches, but we also might see CEH back. He's been promoted to the active roster. And Chase Brown, it looks like he's taking over that backfield. Last week, he led for the first time Zach Moss in snaps and touches.
Yeah. Kareem Hunt has looked good in that backfield. I don't know about him in this matchup, though. I'm not thrilled with it. I kind of like using Chase Brown as well against the Browns. I think the Bengals will kind of dominate that game. Lou Anarumo will pull some things out. Did a little bit better last week. I think it'll roll again this week against Watson. No Cooper. That's going to hurt a little bit as well. So, yeah, I kind of like Chase Brown for the upside here. Hunt may grind it out a little bit, but not a great matchup against the Niners. So, yeah, I'm down with Chase Brown as well. All right, Michael O'Day says Mahomes, Brock, Geno, start 2. So we could start there with those 3 quarterbacks. He's got to pick 2. Mahomes, Brock, and Geno.
Mahomes, Brock, and you need 2 out of those 3. Mahomes, I mean, the right thing to do is probably sit Patrick Mahomes because of how he's just not playing like himself. But Mahomes, again, against the 49ers, this guy has always played well. He averages 31 fantasy points per game against San Francisco. And you know how I feel about the historical matchups. Yeah, and like some guys just have some teams' numbers. So I'm going to probably go against the consensus. And Patrick Mahomes would be 1. And I would go Geno in the other. I just don't know if I trust Brock Purdy in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, crazy enough.
Brock Purdy, 2 matchups against the Chiefs, he's averaging 10.
Yeah, that's good history there. Again, this is kind of more of a gut feeling than anything. I think the Chiefs are just they're going to lose here. So I'm going to go with Brock Purdy for the 1 and definitely Geno for the other one. Seahawks Falcons 51.5. That game is going to be an absolute shootout in the dome. So definitely Geno. If you wanted to go Mahomes over Purdy, I don't hate it. I just got to go with Purdy. More weapons, better weapons overall. No. So and they're at home. They're favored 46.5 total. I'll go with Purdy there over Mahomes. All right. Ty Williams says, would you guys start Worthy, Juju, or Waddle? Can only pick one here. Waddle obviously struggling with Ty Huntley at quarterback with, freaking, who else are they? Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, Still no word on when Tua is coming back. We thought maybe next week, but doesn't sound like that's going to happen now. We may have to wait a little bit longer. So I don't know. They're coming off the bye week. Huntley should be a little more familiar with the offense now. He made 2 starts. They got the bye to get him geared up. But Worthy against the Niners, Juju against the Niners as well. Who do you like better out of those 2 Chiefs receivers?
I feel safer with Juju. I think he's going to bring the higher floor. But if you need the ceiling, Xavier Worthy finally got some, targets last game. So that's promising, but he still seems to be like the player who needs to score or go for over 100 yards to return value. Where I think Juju, if you want to play it safe, could get you like that 10 to 15 PPR points.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with, I guess I'll go with Juju. I think, just working in the slot might be a little bit easier. The Niners don't want to let up the big play. He may just be the safer option overall. Yeah. Waddle is not bad against the Colts, though. I mean, he probably gives you the most upside there, but how much is he really going to do with Huntley? You still got Tyreek, the running game. That's a tough choice, man. I don't mind Juju there either. But if you wanted to go Waddle or Worthy, I mean, you could pick either one, but let's go Juju for the safest play. Greg says, hi, fellas. Will says he slammed the over in the Packers-Steelers game. Jared says, do you think Mason plays for the Niners at running back still with that shoulder injury? What do you think? You think it's going to be more Isaac Guerendo this week?
I mean, if Mason plays, he's going to certainly get action. It just depends on the severity of the injury. If he's 90%, I can see him carrying the workload. He's been one of the more efficient backs, one of the better backs in the NFL so far. The only way I think he concedes touches is if he's truly not 100%. Because like Guerendo, he had that one big run, but really didn't do much otherwise.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he could do. I mean, the Niners open up those holes, and he has that breakaway speed. But yeah, Mason, if he's going, I think you use him, but he certainly could get re-injured in that game, so it's a little risky. As far as if he plays or not, I mean, I guess it's 50-50 at this point. We'll have to wait and see the next couple of days what the practice reports look like. Al says pick 2, full PPR, James Cook, Brian Robinson, Chase Brown. James Cook, Ray Davis, man, he looked pretty damn good. So I think he's going to earn a little bit more here. In the other games, Cook earlier in the year when Cook was just dominating, Ray Davis was getting some chances, didn't look as good. Davis looked better in a featured role. Also, the Bills' offensive line seems like they got a little bit rejuvenated in this game as well. But I think I got to go Brian Robinson as the one. He practiced today. He's going against the Panthers. So that's an automatic play. I mean, you just start Brian Robinson and reap the benefits. As far as the other one, I think if James Cook is out there this week, I'm still going to go James Cook against the Titans. That should be an absolute blowout. And the Bills, we saw what they did against the Dolphins in week 2, where they just ran all over the place. They controlled the whole game. And I think that's going to be similar to this week. So I would think I would go with James Cook if he's playing.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Michael O'Day says, hey, guys, love the show. Second part is JJ Ayuk. Oh, yeah, my bad, bro. We missed that second part. JJ Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, Adam Kupp, start 2, flex 1. I have extra open spot for offensive player, RBs, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Barkley, start 2. Little mishmash on that question there. But the second part is J.J. Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, Adams, Kupp, start 2. And then 1 flex, I guess, out of those guys. And there goes the cat. Friggin' the wrong doors. The cat's running around. Halloween's around. I had mystery doors. Halloween's around the corner, man.
We were late coming on because my computer, it had like a cache issue where you have to like delete everything and reboot it. Like if it can go wrong, it happened today.
We'll finish strong. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So let's go.
Justin Jefferson, Ayuk, Wilson. So you need 2. I mean, Justin Jefferson is an obvious one. I don't like Ayuk this week. Then you have Davante and Garrett Wilson. Wow.
And he's got Kupp too.
I mean, do we know if Kupp is 100% back? Do we trust him on his first game back? I might go JJ and Adams or JJ and Wilson. I want one of those Jets receivers in there.
I mean,
Rodgers is playing better.
you could literally just put all the names in the hat and just pick two of
Yeah.
those guys, and you probably would be okay. But I would say JJ and Garrett Wilson. No, Rodgers, man, he was throwing some dimes. There was some drops, there was some miscommunications, but he was making some that
Yeah.
one throw to Lazard that Lazard caught, like where he just got it. That was amazing. But yeah, I would go Wilson and JJ. I don't mind those two. And then he also needs a flex out of those guys. So you could go Cup or Adams there as well. And he has another spot for, I guess, one of these running backs he could throw in there too. Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Bark. I mean, I don't know. This team is ridiculous.
And he needs to start too. Barkley's a must against his old team. And then I think I like Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I go Kenny Walker over Dobbins as well. And you got to start Barkley. I mean, I love Dobbins, but I sit him in quite a few of my lineups too because I'm just a little bit stacked at running back. Cesar Castillo says, should I start the Broncos defense even with no Pat Surtain? Yeah, why not? You're going against a Saints offense that's missing their two best receivers with the backup quarterback. Yeah, you definitely still roll the Broncos out there. Should get some sacks, should get some, maybe a pick or two, fumbles, should low scoring game. So yeah, certainly. Abreu 68 says, let's go Yanks. And he says 4 droppable for Vidal, Chandler, or Rudy or Judy rest of the season.
That's tough because yes, Chubb is coming back, but I do think Ford, he assumes that Kareem Hunt role. Like I think he'll be involved in this offense, but the offense hasn't been good. Jerry Jeudy is going to be the wide receiver one. I think you have to pick him up if he's out there. Just for the sheer fact that we saw, Amari Cooper wasn't productive, but it was getting like 8 to 10 targets a week. And Jerry Jeudy was still getting targeted in his own right. Like I think Jerry Jeudy could potentially get that target share. And that's somebody like Chandler's he's a gap filler. And Aaron Jones, I don't even think he's ruled out yet. Vidal, he could be a number 2. Like he's an injury contingent player. If J.K. Dobbins healthy, he'll be the guy. Like Jerry Jeudy, you might strike gold with him. So I would 100% drop Ford for Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones did return to practice today, I believe. So, go with Jerry Jeudy. Think if you need the receiver, that makes the most sense. And is 4 droppable for Vidal? Yeah, I think with Nick Chubb coming back, I don't mind moving to Vidal. Gus Edwards is on the IR. We know Dobbins' injury concerns as well. This is a team that loves to run the football, and he still caught a touchdown, so he may get a little more usage as we go on here.
Yeah.
So I don't mind making that move there either. Flex Frog on Twitch says, should I start Sutton tonight or Juju? Interesting. Sutton, Saints aren't the best against fantasy receivers. Just 24th. Sutton's going to play in the slot a little bit. They got torched by Godwin in the slot. They also got torched by Juju for $130. So it's a close one. If you wanted to use Sutton tonight, I don't hate it, but I think I may think Juju's a little bit safer. I don't know, man. Juju could lay a freaking complete egg against the Niners too. They could just have him on lock. Sutton seems like obviously he's the better receiver at this point in their careers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the better receiver is Sutton. And if he's going to play in this slot, he may exploit that middle of the field there a little bit, and he could still play on the outside. Maybe I'd lean Sutton slightly.
Sutton, 3 out of his past 4 games, over 13.8 PPR points. He's getting volume for the most part. He has 3 games over 9 targets, 2 games double-digit targets this year. Past 2 only 5 and 6 targets, but he cashed in 4 for 53 and a touchdown. I think we have to go Courtland Sutton here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Frankie Williams says start Saints defense versus Broncos or Pitt defense versus the Jets. I kind of like the Saints here tonight against Bo Nix. You got Adams and Wilson now. Brees getting going last week a little bit. They're going to be tougher to defend. So I got to go with Saints here against an inferior offense, a much inferior offense now.
I think I'm with you here. Um, it's tough. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with the Saints at home against the Broncos. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Pittsburgh's defense against the Jets, like they're gonna have to get to Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, we've seen him realize he needs to get the ball out of his hand quick, and he's getting that done.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely is, and he doesn't want to be touched by TJ Watt. And TJ Watt could win you a fantasy week by
Yeah.
himself. So it is tough to move away from him. But now with Davante and Wilson, it's gonna be a little tough.
And Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard's playing pretty good.
Like Lazard's been like an unbelievable fantasy player this year.
Yeah, he has been. He has been. I think he leads the league in drops too, but yeah, I mean, I kind of hated Lazard from last year, but I got to give him his props. He's made some big plays this year for sure.
Yeah.
Jay Phil says, "Hey guys, start Javonte Williams, Raheem Mostert, Zach Moss, or Gibson. Forget about Gibson. Forget about Zach Moss. I think the play is Javonte tonight or Mostert. I'm going to go with Mostert. Fresh off the bye, the Dolphins off the bye, coming in playing the Colts. Not a great run D. Achan's he'll be back, but from the concussion, maybe his ankle. You had that ankle injury, week 1, and then week 2 he played against the Bills. Remember that on that Thursday night game, and he played like late into the game, even though they were getting blown out, and he never really looked the same since. So maybe the bye week kind of gets him back on track too a little bit. But I like Mostert off the bye week here. I think he'll be fresh. Javonte has not looked good. The one game 2 weeks ago, he looked okay. I think he got into the end zone too. But last week was not good. He fumbled. There's talk of Estime getting a bigger role this week. So let's go Mostert there.
I like Achan this week. I'm going to assume, coming off the concussion, he should be okay. They had to bye. It doesn't mean that both of these running backs can't feast. This Indy defense is not good, especially against the run. You can run on them. What I'm doing, Ram Stevenson with the foot, he's still not practicing. That could open things up for Gibson, but I don't think Gibson, I'm going to look right now. Gibson was fairly unimpressive last week.
He was horrible. He was horrible.
7.3 PPR points. It was a good run defense, but he does get Jacksonville in Jacksonville. But, for what it's worth, Gibson had 16 touches, including 4 targets. So that is appealing, assuming Ram is out again. But I might just go Mostert. If there's ever like Miami, this is a good enough matchup to where like Achan and Mostert should be able to do something.
Yeah. I mean that Gibson point is. I mean the defensive matchup is certainly terrific, but there is a chance I guess Ram could make his way back too.
Yeah.
So I probably not, but let's go Mostert there.
Yeah.
Beecher says pick 2: Burrow, May, Rodgers, and Dalton.
Burrow.
Pick 2. Burrow gets the Browns, 41.5 total. Looks like 64 degrees, partly cloudy in Cleveland. We got Drake May, as we mentioned, playing the Jaguars in London over the pond, 42.5 total. Drake May is looking certainly juicy this week. Now, he missed some throws. He missed some easy throws, had a couple picks, but he also made some nice throws. He was running. So for fantasy purposes, for NFL purposes, maybe he still makes the same mistakes, but for fantasy purposes, this defense has been absolutely atrocious. Their pass rush has been horrible. So that should help offset the Pats, terrible offensive line a little bit. Rodgers, we certainly like this week, against the Steelers a little bit, 38.5 total, but now he's got Davante and he's got Garrett Wilson. And then Dalton, Dalton, I think you got to keep on the bench. So, who do you like this week between these 4 guys?
Well, Burrow, earlier in his career, he would light up the Cleveland Browns. But the past few matchups, he's been good, not great. Especially like last year, didn't really do, in a 24-3 loss, he had 4 fantasy points, and he had 21 in 2022, 19 in 2000, and the other matchup in 2022. He was cooking against the Browns where he went for like 30 and 41 back in 2020. It was a long time ago. I get this offense is playing well, but is it crazy to say Drake May and Andy Dalton might be your two best guys this week? Andy Dalton against Washington, that secondary, like they're going to be chasing points, playing within a negative game script.
Maybe no Deontay though. Deontay missed practice again today, so that could hurt.
But there's still
the Commanders' defense has been playing a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, but that's still a juicy ass matchup.
It is juicy, but I think I'm going to go with Burrow, man. I'm going to go with Burrow, and I'm going to go with Jeez, picking Drake May over Rodgers sounds ugly, but I don't know. I just feel like Drake May is going to put up like 25 points, 20 to 25 points this week.
May put up 28 last week on the Texans while still turning the ball over 3 times. I'm going May and Dalton. And here, I will pivot to Burrow if Deontay Johnson's out. If Deontay Johnson plays, I think we get a pizza bet. Dalton versus Burrow.
Yeah, and think about the Bengals though. I mean, they still need to win here. They're 2-4. They got to take care of business. The Browns are just falling apart at the seams right now. It seems like their season is just over. 1-5. They just traded away Cooper. More guys are probably wondering when they're going to get shipped out. This could be just an absolute bloodbath. So I'll go with the Bengals and Burrow here, and I'll go with Drake May. But yeah, if you want to use Dalton with Deontay in a 51 total against the Commanders, where he's going to have to sling it around like a maniac, I don't mind that either. Lex Diamond says Vidal or Chandler stash. Who would you rather stash between these two?
Vidal. Easily Vidal. There's a path with the J.K. Dobbins injury history, plus the fact that they were using Gus Edwards before he went IR. You know, he was getting a fair amount of touches. Yeah. And Vidal looked okay last week. Ty Chandler is just, I don't understand the allure of Ty Chandler. I don't understand why people like him. And now they traded for Cam Akers. They traded for Cam Akers for a reason. And I think their reason is they don't believe in Ty Chandler. Yeah, because it's not like Aaron Jones on IR.
I don't know if that's the case. I think it's more for depth. But they shipped off Madison because Chandler outplayed him last year. But yeah, Chandler hasn't been great this year in the couple of spots he's had. But I thought he looked pretty good last year. But yeah, I kind of like Vidal at this point. We kind of know who Chandler is, and we don't really know who Vidal is. So I think the upside is more mysterious there, and I kind of like going after that. Frankie Williams says, with how good Godwin has been, is Gibbs a value target or shoot higher? I'm RB needy. Mason Jacobs, Achane, Ray Davis, Brandon Allen.
Listen,
what is he trying to do here?
He's trying to flip Godwin
for Gibbs
and get a running back. You're not going to get higher than I love Godwin. I think Godwin's going to have one of his most prolific seasons since possibly the Jameis Winston year. I think that was the year he was like a top 3 in fantasy points per game. You're not going to get higher than Gibbs. You're not getting Saquon. Maybe you can get JT, but he's hurt. I think Gibbs is fine because even though Montgomery is cooking, they're both used. Both of these running backs are used. They want to run the football. They don't want Jared Goff throwing it 40 times a game, right? He's completing 18 passes, throwing for 300 yards with this offensive system where both running backs are good. If you want to flip Godwin, I think Gibbs is the guy. Steve, who's another running back? I don't want Kamara for Gibbs. I'd rather have Godwin than Kamara in this fucking offense right now.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Gibbs is a good target there.
Yeah.
You could also even ask maybe for another piece because Godwin's just been so money. So, I mean, you could maybe get one little other piece there, maybe like a secondary running back, maybe like an Estime or Kendre Miller, just something like that to just help your case a little bit more.
Jonathan Brooks.
Well, I don't know if you can pull both those guys.
I mean, maybe. What is Jonathan? There's no guarantee Jonathan Brooks it comes back. They might redshirt him.
He's coming back. I mean, I don't. He seems like I look pretty good in practice. I think he'll be back next week or two. But I mean, I guess it's a possibility. You never know. Flex Frog says, "What about this one, guys? Wan'Dale Robinson or Sutton?" And Neighbors looks like he's coming back. There was some other minor injury, but it sounds like he's going to be back this week. The Giants get the Eagles 1 o'clock on Fox at home in East Rutherford.
This might be an upset special and a Nick Sirianni firing.
I like the Giants this week too. I'm with you. This is NFL picks on the title, so let's
Fuck.
let's pick the Eagles.
I switched it. All the SEOs, the picks are set up for later.
Yeah, the NFL pick show is going to be tonight, guys. That don't mind the title there. This is start sit, so keep pumping the start sit questions. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit do everything you can to support us. fffaceoff.com. We got you covered all week long with everything you possibly can need. I think I go Wandale. Yeah. Wandale, I think he's just a little bit safer. I mean, he's giving you a guaranteed like 10 points every single week.
Yeah. Wandale's worst week was 9.8, and he's giving you that every other game this year in the double digits. He's been really productive with Malik Neighbors in the lineup. Philly's defense on paper is one of the worst in the NFL, 27th in terms of fantasy points conceded to the wide receiver position. I think Philly's going to be able to score. Nick Sirianni has owned the Giants. I don't know if that happens this time. I think the Giants have the firepower, and Philly's defense has enough holes to where we have a shootout on our hands. And I want a piece of that in Wan'Dale Robinson.
He also has Demario Douglas that he could utilize against the Jaguars.
I love Pop Douglas this week.
Yeah.
I think if you want the ceiling, go Douglas. If you want the floor, Wan'Dale. But, my gut's saying Pop.
Yeah, if you want the pop, go Pop. Start Vele, says T. Jones tonight. Who else are you looking at? I mean, if you have to, I guess it's not terrible, but you could end up with like a 3 for 30, a 2 for 28. How much is it really going to give you? 4 for 40.
He reminds me of Marcus Colston because he's a big body, tall, bigger, wide. He has that Marcus Colston build. If anybody's old enough who's listening, you remember Marcus Colston.
Yeah.
He was one of Sean Payton's, really good receivers. Yep. Back with the Drew Brees, Saints, DeVary Henderson, Robert Meacham.
Oh, Robert Meacham, yep.
Stallworth.
That was the team I used to play play with Madden because Henderson had like 97 speed, Stallworth had 96 speed. Yeah, that was a fun team to play with. Aaron Brooks was flinging around, Deuce McAllister.
I like Denver. Do you like Denver tonight? I might like Denver tonight. Upset special.
I kind of like the Saints. I think the Saints defense is going to bring it. But, Peyton returning back to New Orleans is certainly interesting.
Yeah. I don't know about Veal. Like, I would rather go get Kayshon Boutte. If you got to start like a junk bag receiver, go get one of the Patriots. Go get one of the Patriots receivers against Jacksonville. Fucking play that matchup.
Yeah, that's true. Josh is asking us about Vele, and his other options are Najee, Whittington, Ridley, Boutte, Levis.
Najee, right? Najee against the Jet. Well,
Najee's didn't he miss practice today, or he's a little banged up? Whittington's also banged up a little bit. Ridley, I don't know. That's an ugly situation. If Najee's playing, you got to go Najee. It's Najee or Whittington. Those two guys over tonight. Definitely.
Najee returned to a full practice with ribs on Thursday. Today, listen, he's getting the volume. Even though it's a tough matchup, he's getting enough volume to give you, like, let's say 10 PPR points. And you really expect to get more from any of these other guys.
Yeah. Najee's full practice, you definitely go Najee. But if you didn't want to go Najee for whatever reason, or you get like more points, or definitely go Whittington over Valet. That's
if you get points per stupid play. Will Levis is in play because he has Will Levis, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that is. Is that the super flex?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe throw the quarterback in there. Levis slings it around. Maybe he gives you 15, 20 points.
Will Levis had 10.3 points last week against the fucking Colts. One of the easiest matchups. That's a slam dunk.
Well, they're saying they're like keeping the offense like so easy for him now. Like they're not letting him make mistakes. You got to just let Levis just rip it. That's who he is.
They're not letting him make mistakes. He's thrown at least one interception in every game this year.
Well,
ain't doing a good job.
What I'm saying is,
he's lost 3 fumbles this year. Ain't doing a good job.
Just let him throw the ball like 40 times, and he may throw for like 350, but you'll probably get like 5 interceptions.
Like sometimes trying to bottle up this type of a quarterback, it's not good.
Right, and that's exactly. I think they're being a little too conservative with him. Zero skills. Our boy says need one PPR. Cortland Sutton, who plays tonight. Amari Cooper, who may not play in his first week with the Bills, or Juju, who just picked up a questionable designation. Do you have any other options besides Juju in case he does not play? I don't think Cooper's going to play this week. I think he's going to get a week off. Yeah, I think they may give him a week off against the Titans. I think they can take care of business without him.
I don't know about that. Titans can run the football. You can run the football.
That game's going to be so ugly. They're going to kill the Titans. But Levis, come on.
They're saying that he hasn't decided if he's going to play. Yeah, okay, you're right.
They're favored by 9 in this game against the Titans.
I tell you that I might sprinkle on the Titans money line.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? There's no fucking shot the Titans win that game. This is NFL pick show though, so there you go. But what are we doing here? Are we going with Sutton or are we going with Juju? Or we, and risking the questionables? I mean, I expect them to play. Really.
I'd go Sutton here. I like Juju. It's a tough matchup. I might just roll Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
I don't love it. I don't love any of these options. Even if Cooper did play, it's not. He's going to get L'Jarius Sneed, who's playing just as good or better than Surtain right now.
Yeah, I mean, Sneed was arguably the best corner in the league last year. Let up 1 touchdown, which was to Khalil Shakir. Armando Zapeta Jr. says RB2, half PPR, Mostert, Tyrone Tracy, Rashad White, or Algier, or drop one for Chandler. No, don't do that.
The report today is that there's going to be a 3-way timeshare in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Sean Tucker looked great. I mean, Bucky looked great too, but I mean, both these guys look better than Rashad White right now. Both those guys had better rushing games, I think, than Rashad White's ever had since he's been in Tampa.
I might go Tyrone Tracy against Philly. I just think he's played well enough to carve out a role for himself. It's Tracy or Mostert for me.
Yeah, Tracy looks good. I mean, he's like moving piles. He's making moves.
I remember somebody asked me, I've been saying a lot. Somebody asked me, like, who could be a Kyren Williams? It was like on a YouTube. Was it like a Q&A here, or it was in a YouTube comment? And I'm like, like outside of because Kyren came out of nowhere. And I'm like, outside of Ray Davis and Bucky, they were the more popular ads. So I'm like, you know what? The guy I really like is Tyrone Tracy. I said, I don't think he's going to be Kyren. But if you want somebody to stash or keep an eye on who could blow up, I think it's Tyrone Tracy, because Devin Singletary's just a guy. He's a good running back. He's not good enough to keep a guy like somebody who comes out of nowhere like Tyrone Tracy off the field. And I think Tyrone Tracy, he could be a potential league winner.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to take the job, but I think he's definitely earned, close to a 50-50. And there is a chance, you're right. I mean, as the season goes on a little bit here, he could kind of outshine Singletary, be a more consistent option for them. But this week, I mean, yeah, I don't like Rashad White with that 3-headed monster. Algier has been solid despite playing, behind Bijan against the Seahawks. 51.5 total is not terrible, but I think I would go with Tracy or Mostert here. You like Tracy here?
Yeah, I like both, but he's the hot hand. Tyrone Tracy's the hot hand, higher projected point total. And Tracy converted wide receiver in college. Like we saw his pass catching chops flash last week, and I think they keep getting him involved. Like just think about Tracy's played really well without Neighbors. Imagine Neighbors in this lineup.
Yeah, are we expecting Singletary to come back this week 100%? Is he ready to go?
I can check.
I know. I think he was back at practice, maybe in a limited fashion. You can check on that.
Limited with the groin.
Okay, so I mean, maybe they give him one more week. Maybe he's limited even in the game, and they kind of give Tracy the nod. So yeah, I don't mind using Tracy there. Achan's going to be healthy too. Also, Jalen Wright looked good possibly. So maybe that's a little bit of a three-headed monster more than we realize, maybe possibly as well. So Naughty Otter says start Shakir or Rashad Bateman in the flex. Interesting. I go with Shakir here against the Titans. I know it's a lower total, 40.5. But Rashad Bateman, I mean, just really never know what the hell you're going to get from him. But that, you know what, though? Actually, the Buccaneers defense their secondary has been letting up a lot of points, 49.5 total. So I think the upside goes to Bateman there. I don't mind using that.
And the Titans secondary, I think they're number 1 or number 2 in the NFL right now in terms of fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. Shakir has been on a downswing a little bit. And Rashad Bateman, in 3 out of his past 4 games, double-digit PPR points, and he saw a total of 12 targets in his past 2. And now you get another good matchup against Tampa and a high potential shootout, high point total. So I'm going Bateman. I'm going Master Bateman.
All right, I got you there. The Titans really haven't played. I mean, they played against Malik Willis. They played against Joe Flacco. They played against
Joe Flacco's been electric, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say electric, but they played against freaking Tyler Huntley. So Caleb Williams' first game ever. So I mean, they really haven't played anybody yet. But yeah, I don't mind going Bateman there. With that high total and the Tampa secondary looks brutal to me. Tyler Sperry says Jets or Denver defense, and would you start Mostert over Tracy and Bigsby if A-Chain isn't cleared? I think A-Chain's back. I think he's fine. He'll be ready to go. Jets or Denver defense, though. We don't know if we're getting Russ or if we're getting Justin Fields, but I think I'll go with the Denver defense here still. What do you think?
I'll still go Denver. Yeah.
No Shaheed, no Olave. I mean, a bunch of 4 and 5 wide receivers, basically. A backup quarterback. I think it's Denver, even without Pat Surtain.
I like both, right? Like Jets are very solid fantasy defense more times than not, but Denver has been outstanding.
Yeah. And also, would you start Mostert over Tracy? Anthony just answered Tracy in the question before. How about Bigsby? Would you put Bigsby over any of those guys?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I like Tracy a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tracy's looked really good. Kind of, I don't
know
if it's
Bigsby kind of fell on his face last week.
His running style kind of reminds me like DeMarco Murray. I mean, kind of has like maybe it's that number 29. I think DeMarco Murray, but he's smaller, obviously, than DeMarco Murray, but he just kind of reminds me that, that 29 looks like DeMarco Murray out there a little bit. I got Jalen Hurts. J. Phil says, I got Jalen Hurts and Purdy in Dynasty, but Drake May is on waivers. Ooh, nice. You dropping any one of those guys from May? Nah, I don't think you can. I mean, right? You got to keep Purdy. You got to keep Purdy and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, unless you have anybody else. But I like May a lot. Rest of season, some tough matchups in there. But no, I think you got to hold on to what you have.
Yeah, let's see. Can you drop somebody else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We have a super chat from Misfit.
Oh, nice. Our boy Misfit is back. What's up? RB2, Chase Brown or Montgomery if JT is out? Full PPR. Well, you got to go Montgomery. I mean, that guy's been an absolute beast. Dan Campbell's an absolute love affair. He seems like he just says he wishes he could play with him. I mean, he just loves this guy. So, and he's looked awesome. So you got
Minnesota, though, number 2. In terms of fantasy points allowed to running backs. They are the second best in the NFL right now. The game is in Minnesota. And for what it's worth, Montgomery, the Lions, they have yet to face a defense. Look at the Rams 26, Tampa 21, Zona 23. Seattle's the best one at 16. Dallas 29th against the run. And Montgomery consequently had his worst game against Seattle, which was his toughest matchup, and they're middle of the pack.
Jordan Mason did get 5 yards per carry, 20 for 100. Josh Jacobs went for 9 for 51 against them. This is their toughest test.
I think we go Montgomery sheer fact that he scored every week. We'll probably at least get a touchdown. If they are inside the 5, Montgomery is going to get an opportunity. He's had at least 1 carry inside the 5 every game. He's had a total of 5 carries inside the 5 in the past 2 games. In terms of red zone rushes, 4, 7, 9, 13. He's had 20 red zone rushes inside the 20 total so far. So he's just getting fed in the money zone. So even if he's not efficient, I think he'll at least get you a score. This is a crazy stat using the RotoWire tools. Rushing touchdown percentage, which is rushing touchdowns divided by rushing attempts. He's at an 8%, which is 99th percentile in the NFL.
Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, Montgomery, it's tough to sit him, even against the Vikings. And again, we saw Jacobs go off. We saw Mason go off. This is the superior offensive line, the best they faced all year. So let's go Montgomery there. Thanks for the super chat there. Eric Hom says, 12-team PPR. My team is Kyler, Laporta, Brees, Mason, Warren, Irving, Bigsby, Allen, MHJ, DeMonta Smith, Jay Williams, Deontay Johnson, Ladd, BTJ, Pop, Douglas. Need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Jeez.
Laporta. 2 running backs. So let's do the running backs first. Brees is an absolute. Mason, I think we have to go. You don't think you really have much else to start, right? Like Irvin could be.
This could be a mix there, but
Casey is number 1 against enemy running backs, but we expect if Mason's healthy to handle all the workload. Warren's been an afterthought. Bucky could be looking at a 2 to 3 way timeshare. Bigsby has a good matchup, but I don't trust that offense. And then Braylon Allen. I think I'm going to go with that, Steve. I'm going to go Brees and Mason.
I'm with you on that one.
As far as the receivers, Deontay, if he's active.
Yep.
Marvin, if he's active. Or no, I'm going to go Deontay and Davante.
I don't think Marvin's going to play this week. He's got a clear concussion protocol. I don't think we're going to see him this week. I think he'll be out. So yeah, Deontay definitely, if he's playing, I don't mind Davante. Jameis Williams. You got Brian Thomas Jr.
I might go Pop Douglas.
He's also got 1 flex, so you could get 2 receivers in the flex there.
Yeah, I kind of like Davante, Deontay, and either Brian Thomas or Pop Douglas.
Yeah, I would go Brian Thomas, Davante, and Deontay. If Deontay's out, then I think you throw in. Do you go Pop Douglas or Jameson?
I like Pop.
Jason 50 total in that Vikings game too. That's going to be a.
I feel like Pop's safer, and he has a really good matchup. But Minnesota, we know you can throw the hell out of the football at Minnesota as well. I think let's just go. I might just go Jameson just because he's on the more prolific offense. I feel like I'm really buying into this Drake May and company this week against Jacksonville, but it's hard not to because of the matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, even Ladd's not terrible either. But yeah, Davante, Jameson, and BTJ. Is that what we're rolling with if Deontay's out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Zaire Thorley says, I don't know about y'all, but should I get Hunt and drop Ferguson? I have Gibbs, Dobbins, and B-Rob. You're stacked at running back with those 3. I mean, you're going to drop Ferguson. You're going to really sacrifice tight end there for Kareem Hunt, who's probably going to lose his job in maybe a month. So I don't know. Depends on who your other tight end is, but sounds like you don't really need to use Hunt. So why would you drop Jake Ferguson? Is there anybody else you could drop there?
Yeah. Right? Yeah, you can't drop Jake Ferguson.
No. I mean, I know he didn't really have a great game last week, but it's going to pick back up.
Yeah, you can't drop Ferguson and put him out there. And Hunt, again, Pacheco could come back. CEH is probably coming back. And you already have Dobbins, B-Rob, and Gibbs. I don't think that's a move you have to make. The tight end position has been murky as hell this year.
Right.
Ferguson, I know he had a down game. The whole Cowboys offense did. But, Dallas has the easiest receiver-quarterback matchup down the stretch.
Yeah.
And last year, for what it's worth, they were kind of weird passing slow, and then they had their bye week. They came out throwing.
Yep. Yeah, I expect Dallas to start picking it up a little bit here as well. Abreu 68 says, Darnell Mooney is available in my league. He deserves a bench spot. Yes, of course. Again, he had a bad game last week, but that's going to be with a lot of guys. So you just could be patient. Tyler Sperry says, Peyton is the one coach that knows how to stop Kamara. Yeah, possibly. And that is his boy for years and years and years. So not a bad point there. Zach says, which two quarterbacks would you rather have rest of the season? Purdy, Richardson, or Caleb Williams? Purdy is one. And I still like Richardson over Caleb. Caleb's still got to play the Packers, the Vikings twice.
Yeah.
The weather's going to get colder. He played the Panthers and the Jaguars, probably the two worst defenses in the league. Richardson, I guess, is more risky because of the injuries. He could lose his job to Flacco. So maybe Caleb's safer overall. So I mean, maybe from that fact, maybe Caleb, but I kind of prefer Richardson. What do you think?
Purdy, Richardson, Caleb Williams.
He's got to pick two there.
Caleb for sure, and
definitely Purdy.
I guess Purdy. Yeah, it's just hard with Richardson because if he turns it on, we know what he can give us. We just outside of week one, he hasn't turned it on. So I think we have to go Caleb and Purdy because you're going to probably use Caleb more times than not moving forward.
Yeah, Caleb's from week 1 to week 6, he's seemingly got better every single week. But again, those last two matchups, I think painted a picture that we may not see as good the next couple weeks as the schedule gets harder and the weather starts to change. Frankie Williams says, would you rather send Kupp or Godwin to get Gibbs? So this is from before. He could send Kupp, definitely send Kupp, in my opinion. I mean, Kupp could get re-injured at any point, and we don't even know if he's coming back this week. And he's definitely Kupp, right? Gibbs.
Kupp or Godwin? I feel more comfortable keeping Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
And not, he's that we know what that offense is and what it is going to give us. And Chris Godwin, like Kupp, has popped at a high level in his career. I'm not moving off of Chris Godwin right now.
Think about it this way too. Like even Whittington, like he kind of fills that Puka role pretty decent. Had a nice game last week with 7 for 86, I think 11 targets. I mean, even if Puka doesn't come back, he still is going to probably be a factor in that offense. So it's not like it's just going to be Kupp getting 20 targets every single time.
Yeah.
Like that one game when Puka got hurt and Whittington still wasn't playing. Little Carlos says, should I trade away Kenneth Walker for A.J. Brown and Chuba Hubbard?
Ooh. Yeah. Getting AJ and Chuba at 100%. I would do it 1-for-1 for AJ Brown. I mean, that's a 1-for-1 deal for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you need a receiver, you got some running back depth. I don't mind that. AJ Brown is going to be a stud. Should be a stud the rest of the way. And then you get Chuba, who still should be involved despite the return of Jonathan Brooks. Well, we'll see if Jonathan Brooks comes back. He could get re-injured. You never know. Coming off the knee injury, could get a hammy or something. So, yeah, I think that's a good deal for you overall. Jose Avalos says Kirk Cousins or Drake May at defense, Commanders or Saints. And defense, Commanders or Saints. So Kirk Cousins this week or Drake May. I'm going with Kirk Cousins at home in a 51 total. As much as I like Drake May, I got to go with Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I'm with you here.
And then Commanders defense or Saints. The Commanders defense against the Panthers is not bad, actually. But I think I still would go with the Saints here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints as well against Denver. The Commanders are on an upswing, but Carolina can put up points. Yeah, so I feel like the Commanders were really going to be relying on sacks or turnovers or a defensive touchdown.
Yeah. Chai11 says, can we start Bub Means over Pittman? No,
I don't like Pittman, but I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not sorry.
And I don't even like Pittman this week, but no. Not Bub Means, especially against that Denver secondary, like with or without Surtain. Yeah. Reminds me of Natron Means, actually. Remember Natron Means?
Of course, Natron Means business. Yep. Number 20 for the they remember they got freaking destroyed in that Super Bowl with what was Stan Humphries was their quarterback.
Wow, yeah.
I think that was 1995. I remember when I went to my friend's house to watch them. The Niners just destroyed them. Jose Avalos says, you think Mason plays this weekend? I picked up Isaac Garendo and hopefully it's a steal, bro. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. But that's great that you got Garendo. In case he doesn't play. So that was a great move by you. Way to stay ahead of the market. John Flo says Mason if he plays or Addison. I think I'm going to go Addison.
It's such a tough matchup, for Mason. And I'm going to go Addison here as well. I mean, we could see a lot of points in this Detroit-Minnesota game.
Yeah, Vikings are the worst against fantasy receivers, and the Lions are 29th. So, I mean, they're just two spots. So, I mean, yeah, this should be a shootout from what we're all expecting. So, I like the upside of Madison this week. Again, a little bit risky with Mason. If he plays, he could re-injure that shoulder. That's certainly possible. And we could see a little bit more Garendo this week. Drop Bigsby or Tracy if I need to. Jesus.
Bigsby. I'm all in on Tyrone Tracy.
I'm
all in on that guy.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Singletary practice, yes, limited fashion. Zach says White droppable for Bigsby, maybe. I think I would hold on to Rachaad White. Supposedly, according to the one reporter there, he's still the guy, but I don't believe that. I think he's on the verge of possibly losing his job, but I still think I would hold Rachaad White. What do you think?
Yeah, you have to. The three-headed monster thing scares me. The fact that Rachaad White could be the 3 scares me. Maybe I would do it for Bigsby. I would highly consider this actually.
Yeah, it's not a terrible move. I mean, ETN's a little bit banged up. May not play this week. Maybe Bigsby really shows out. Didn't play great last week, but the week before he was obviously looked like a freight train, juking guys, stiff arming guys. Jose Avalos says, you think Kamani Vidal will get more snaps this weekend behind Dobbins? Yeah, I think he'll get a couple more snaps this week, but I still think Dobbins has that workhorse role where he's going to get upwards to 20 carries, but Vidal should get a little bit more passing game work. Probably will get some more carries as well. And maybe eventually kind of, gets close to that Gus Edwards usage at some point. That is possible.
I agree.
Russ is supposed to start. Yeah, still no official word yet on what the hell's going on there. I don't know what, we'll see. That's a very interesting situation. KJ Frederick says, what's up, everyone? Better flex start. Cooper Kupp or Garrett Wilson full PPR. We still don't know if Kupp is definitely playing. But if Kupp is out there, who you rolling with that?
I'm still going to go Garrett Wilson. I said I'm all in on the Jets. I get the matchup. Garrett Wilson has been playing really well, and now we add in, I think we're just now seeing the rapport with him and Aaron Rodgers click. Now we add in Davante Adams, and if Porter's on that, I think this could be a really prolific offense moving forward. I know as a Jet fan, it's hard to buy into, but this could be something, and this is an attainable division. This is not a division where that the Bills scare me right now. It's attainable. The whole AFC is kind of in flux a little bit. I think the Jets can turn it around, and I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. I want a piece of this offense this week.
I mean, Garrett Wilson, Davante Adams is an insane combination. But if Kupp's out there, I'm going to start him against the Raiders because he's just going to get so many freaking targets, and he's got to be healthy. So I think I would go Kupp. But I don't know. I don't know if he's playing. So you may have to go Garrett. Joffrey Plays says, I have Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Chuba, Tyreek Pickens, and Sutton. I traded Hunt for Amari. Is that good or bad? Henry, Walker, Chuba. Yeah, I like it. I think that's the better long-term play. Tyreek, and you can use Tyreek Pickens and Amari.
I have to. That's a slam dunk Hunt for Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Again, CEH is coming back. Maybe we'll see. And then we all expect Pacheco back, possibly maybe by week 10.
Yeah.
And I think he'll take his main role for the most part back from Kareem. Kareem still has to show he can handle all these touches he's going to get in the next couple of weeks as well. Oh, nice. All right. KJ Frederick says, Cade Otton or Dalton Schultz this week? Full PPR.
Ooh, I like both a lot. Otton has been the hot hand. Otton also gets one of the easiest tight end matchups in the Baltimore Ravens. He's getting, his past 4 games, 8, 9, 4, and 6 targets, at least 9.5 PPR points in 3 out of his past 4. He scores a touchdown last week. I'm going to go Cade Otton. I think he exploits the matchup a little bit.
Yeah, I like Kate Otten, 49.5 total. He's kind of come alive a little bit in recent weeks. Dalton Schultz, again, highest target total with 8 last week, but still hasn't really popped off the map completely. I kind of like, again, I like both guys. I don't mind using Kate Otten, though, in this matchup, but either guy, it's pretty close. It's either guy. I think both will do well. Turgay Kagler says, "Hi, guys. Which one of these trades do you like more? Mooney or Pittman plus A-Chain scenario 1, or Debo plus Najee scenario 2 for Bijan?"
Mooney, Pittman for Achan. I would flip one of those wide receivers for Achan.
Yeah, so I would say scenario 1 I like better, right?
Yeah, that's a bigger value by far. Where like Debo and Najee, you're giving up a lot for Bijan, which is fine. You should. But like Achan, he has that same ceiling when Tua comes back and you're flipping Mooney or Pittman. Pittman's been like kind of underperforming. You either got Mooney in the 12th round or you picked him up off waivers. You can potentially flip him for a second round running back.
Yeah, who you trading though? You're trading Mooney or Pittman plus
Pittman.
A-Chain?
I probably Pittman. I want Mooney. I don't want. I want that Atlanta Falcons offense.
Yeah, that's. I still think I would move. Still think I would keep Pittman, but yeah, I mean, either one of those guys.
Either way, it's a good.
Yeah.
It's an upside trade.
I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up Debo. So scenario 1 is better.
Yeah.
James Hernandez says Dobbins or Reed at flex standard. So no PPR here. Chargers get the Cardinals on the second Monday night game. 2 Monday night games. That's the 9:00 game against the Cardinals. Chargers favored by 2.5, 43.5 total. I think I'd go Dobbins.
I'm going to
standard. Remember that. No PPR.
I'm going to go Dobbins as well. Standard. I like chase touchdowns.
Yeah. I think Dobbins should have a nice game. The Smitty says Jay Williams or Javonte Williams, Mostert, Algier, Gibson, start 1. I think we're going Mostert there, right?
Yes, 100%. Mostert or Gibson if Ram doesn't play, but I think I feel a little bit safer with Mostert.
The Smitty says Tank Dell or Addison if Evans doesn't play.
Dell. I like Addison a lot, but Tank Dell without Nico is money, and the matchup against Green Bay is money.
I'm with you on that. Luminous says Cade Otten or Dalton Kincaid. I got to go with Dalton Kincaid. This with I just think no Cooper again this week.
I'm going to go Cade Otten.
All right, I'll go with.
I'll play the matchup.
Elio 13. I know Ant loves that Elio's Pizza, Lodi, New Jersey.
I do actually.
Hey guys, what's a good defense to pick up? So who's out
there?
He's asking for some streamers. You should go check out Pete's streamer defense on our YouTube page. He's been absolutely killing that every single week. So head over to our YouTube page, check that out. It's got like 2,000 views. People are just loving it. So check that out. He's definitely got some defenses to the Giants is one if they're out there. I don't mind that against Philly.
Yeah, I agree.
X Houdini 21. Trade Cook and Jacoby for Tyreek and Odunze. Yes.
Yeah, with Tua likely coming back sooner rather than later, I want that ceiling of Tyreek Hill. And plus you have Odunze. This Bears offense is starting to click. I get, Keenan Allen's getting involved, but Odunze is also going to have his spike weeks.
Yep. Guys, make sure you like subscribing. If you guys want to send in a super chat, bump the line a little bit. We got maybe 10, 15 more minutes.
We're just going to wrap up after these questions. We started a little bit late today.
Yeah, we got the wrong.
I got to get bets in, man.
We got to get the bets in. We got the Yankees game in the 7th inning. Joffrey plays, says pick 2 to start. Sutton, Pickens, Amari, and Tyreek. I'm going with, I don't think Amari's playing. I'm going to go with Pickens, and I'm going to go with Tyreek. I think Tyreek could have a nice game and coming off the bye week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pickens and Tyreek as well.
He also has Juju, but you're not using Juju over those two guys, are you?
No, I don't think so. It's close. Like, I think Juju's going to have a high floor, but you would hope if Mike McDaniels is really this good, like offensive-minded coaches coming off of a bye week, they have extra time to prepare for a defense. He's going to find a way to get Tyreek Hill involved.
Yep, I agree. Jose Avalo says, would you start the Vikings defense versus the Lions? Yeah, I'm using the Vikings defense this week. I know points might be a thing, but most leagues you're getting more points for sacks, interceptions, and
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
going
like
to get after it.
yeah, I think they could get 3-4 sacks here, maybe a
No,
pick or two.
no.
So unless your league like penalizes you like -10 or something for going over like 27 points, that might be a little dangerous. But I like generally I like the Vikings defense. X Houdini says, oh, so that one already. Daniel Cap says, fellas, would you start May over Murray this week? Yes, I would.
Yeah, hey, Drake May in this matchup coming off of a 28 fantasy point outing. Kyler, we don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play, and Kyler hasn't exactly been playing well fantasy wise. One of the bigger disappointments so far in the first half of the season. I'm in on Drake May.
I'm with you there 100%. Marlon says, hey, should I drop Leggett for Bub Means with Shaheed out? He'll be
Nope.
very good. I'm not doing that.
No.
Leggett was a first-round pick. What was Bub Means? A sixth-round pick?
Yeah.
Whatever it was, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round pick. I got to stick with Leggett. Stephen Grise says, are you starting defense? Packers, Chargers, Saints, or Jags? I like the Chargers.
Yep.
I mean,
it's either the Saints or the Chargers, but I'm with you. The Chargers have been playing lights out.
And they're all banged up in the secondary, too. And
they're playing Arizona.
Yeah. Gamer says, hey, dude, can I have your Discord? Hey, do we know what how can we get him to Discord?
It's a hell of a question.
Send us a comment maybe on the YouTube page, and we'll drop the Discord link maybe in there somehow, right? We could do it that way.
I'm going to get the Discord link in the description of this video right now.
Okay. So, yeah, just look in the description here in the video, and you get the Discord there. And we'll definitely talk to you over there, man. Appreciate that. Daniel Cap says, thanks, fellas. And with Daniel Caps, that will cap the show. I think we're all done right now. We got the game. We got the Yankees game. We got the Mets game coming on. So let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. As long as I don't have any difficulties with my computer updating, we'll be starting on time. But until then, Steve will be back tonight after Thursday Night Football with NFL picks. We'll be back tomorrow again. Start, sit, show, answering your questions, breaking down matchups, throwing some bets out there. For Steve and myself, this is the Face Off Sports Network. If you want to win, you have to tune in. We'll see you next time.